What if you could make fresh, delicious meals at home without the stress of planning, prepping, or cleaning up? Introducing Tavala. Tavala is a first-of-its-kind meal service that makes eating well effortless. By combining a countertop smart oven with delivered meals, just scan a QR code to cook dinner. First, choose from a variety of chef-crafted meals delivered weekly to your door. When you're ready to eat, just do 1 minute of easy prep. Next, scan your meal's QR code with the Tavala Smart Oven, while the oven automatically switches between modes and temperatures for the perfect cook. Just sit back and relax. Your food's ready in 25 minutes or less. No shopping, no chopping, no cleanup. Simplify mealtime today with Tavala. Go to Tavala.com now to save $150 on a Tavala Smart Oven when you agree to order meals 6 times. That's Tovala.com. Promo applied automatically at checkout. Tavala. Eat well effortlessly. Tavala.com.
Do you love wrestling? Do you love All Elite Wrestling? Make sure you check out The Good, the Bad, and the Hungy here on the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. My name is Tyler Fornes, and my co-host Fred Moreland and I discuss all the happenings of All Elite Wrestling across the universe, including when they make trips overseas. We talk about Dark, we talk about Rampage, we talk about Dynamite, and everything in between, including Tony Khan and his both brilliant and confusing booking. Make sure you check us out. We drop our shows on Thursdays to make sure that we keep up with Dynamite and make sure we give you all the current happenings in All Elite Wrestling.
This podcast is a member of the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. Visit voicesofwrestling.com to hear the rest of our great podcasts, as well as show reviews, columns, opinions, and updates across the world of wrestling.
Hola, everybody. It's not as funny the second time, is it, Damon? Welcome to the Super J-Cast. I'm Joel, joined by Damon McDonald. It is Sunday, 26th of February, 2023. This is episode 248 with a bit of a Spanish-Mexican flavour this week to celebrate the wonderful time of year that is Fantasticamania, Damon.
That was pretty good. I mean, I feel, yeah, you're probably right. It was probably funnier the first time. But we had some technical difficulties. Our sync was out of sync, and then we couldn't hear each other. But I still laughed inside, Joel. It was still great to hear.
Yes. I'm sure the listeners are all pissing themselves. So
yeah,
that's the important thing.
Yeah. Hey, maybe we'll get some juice in that podcast chat thread on Discord. I did check. I did take a look at that.
People go to complain about things that I have said.
Yeah, me too, apparently. Oh, well, what are you going to do? I love them all. The freaks, as they call themselves, right? The freaks.
Yes, the Shinnohon freaks.
I love them. All right. Look, what are we going to do? How's your Arsenal doing?
Good. Won last night. Beat Leicester away. So we are 2 points clear with a game in hand, which we're going to play midweek. So still in it. Still in with a shot.
Okay.
If you were to put the Super J-Cast branded gun to my head and say, do I think we're going to win the league? I would still say no, because that's sort of self-preservation more than anything. Because it's all going to come down to, I think, the game we play away to City. And they've already beaten us at home, so that's sort of ruffled my feathers a bit. So
yeah,
so definitely circling that one in the calendar.
All right. How many games left?
I don't know, about 14, 15?
Oh, God. Jeez, you got a long way to go. Oh, God. Okay.
Yeah. Plenty can go wrong with
Yeah. I thought you hit me. I thought you were going to say like 3. Be like, smooth sailing. You got it. No, 14's it's a big number. A lot can happen. All right. Listen, I'm keeping my fingers crossed for you. I know it means a lot.
Someone asked the question. George says, define the Premier League top 4 at the moment by New Japan wrestlers and who's going to be top of the league at the end of the season. So, I mean, Man City, they're obviously Okada, making it rain with money and dominant champions, just destroying everything in their path. So what would Arsenal be? I don't know. Zack Sabre Jr.
Okay.
Winning a... Good for a New Japan Cup here and there, but not the big prize.
All right. All right.
Who else would there be? I don't know. United would be
Somebody,
Tanahashi.
probably Tanahashi, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good shout. Newcastle, I think they'll be up there at the end of the season. I don't know. Maybe Shota Umino.
Wow.
They sort of rocketed to the top and no one likes them.
All right. How's Liverpool this year? Do they stink?
Yeah, they do stink a bit.
Wow.
Not great.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about that team that won like the miracle season? Was it Leicester City?
Yes.
Are they
Who
still?
we beat yesterday. They're pretty crap now. They're 14th in the league.
Wow. How do you win the league and drop to 14th?
Well, that was about, when was it, 2016, 17 they won it? So
All right, it's not that long ago.
nearly 10 years ago.
Oh, yeah, I guess you're right. My math's off.
But the problem is, like, there's a team like that, whenever you get good and people realise your players are good, then the big boys are going to come sniffing around and cherry picking all your best players. So, you know, there's teams like, I don't know, Brighton and Hove Albion, for example, who just seem to have this never-ending pipeline of incredibly talented players. Like, their scouting networks are amazing. So one of their players will just come out of nowhere and turn out to be brilliant, and then the big club will come and buy them, and then you think, oh, you know, they're in trouble now, and then they'll get another player out of nowhere. I don't know if you heard of this Japanese guy, Kaoru Mitoma, who is just a bit of a phenom at the moment.
Okay.
Did his university dissertation on dribbling, strapped a GoPro to his head, and did loads of research on the most effective ways to dribble. So,
Wow.
He's making a lot of headlines at the moment.
You know what I found the most effective way is to just pick up the ball and walk with it. It's just so easy.
Yeah.
It's convenient.
Do you remember there was a player called Curlon who innovated this seal dribble where he would run along with the ball bouncing on his head?
I didn't know that was a legitimate thing. Like, why would you do that? Like, honestly, any physical contact, and you're not going to be able to do that, right?
Yeah, people were just like kicking him and shoving him over. It wasn't very effective.
Right, I can't imagine it being effective unless he's got like tape. He like has like double-sided tape, and it just sticks to his head, and he just runs. That'd be great. He cemented the ball to his head. Oh, he's got to score. Oh, he's got to jump in the net. What a silly premise. Yeah, I mean, that's the problem. That's the problem with your league. I got to be honest with you. Is like people can just swoop in and just cherry pick best players, and a team that's like really analytical and really, you know, trying to find the diamonds in the rough and constructing a team based off of that. Yeah. And then they win the championship, and then they're all making shit money, and they're like, oh, okay, I guess I'll sign this check and play for this team now. Yeah, that sucks. But that's sports. What are you going to do? Thank God.
I mean, honestly, my interest in the Premier League is hanging on by a thread. Just the way that all this money's coming through from basically nation states, you know, like Abu Dhabi with Man City, and now Saudis own Newcastle, and now Qatar are trying to buy Man United, and we got, you know, Todd Bowley with his US billionaire hedge fund, you know, spending they spent like nearly £500 million in the last 12 months or something. It's insane. So I feel like this is Arsenal's last shot at winning something before it just becomes a complete.
Who has the most money? Yeah. Who has the most money? That sucks. Oh well, look. Well, again, you got to get a salary cap or something. You got to get a salary cap.
Yeah. Or some, you know, properly enforced financial fair play regulations, because there are allegedly some at the moment, but if you put the gun to my head, I would not be able to tell you what they are, because they're certainly not effective.
No, they're not.
And then look, Arsenal spend a lot of money as well. We are not exempt from this sort of criticism. But
right, we got to play the game. Yeah. All right. Look, thank God you don't have that in New Japan. You know, people swiping people up and giving them more money. It's
been a really interesting week for New Japan.
It has.
Like to look at all the different things we've got on the docket to talk about this week, and that's really sort of emblematic of the global reach and domestic reach, where they've got their fingers in a lot of different pies. So we've got plenty to talk about, and not all of them are purely New Japan Pro Wrestling related.
Did you say fingers in a
It's an
pie?
interesting week. Yeah. Should we go to the pie question? Steel O'Neill says, "What is the best pie?" And don't say cream. FFS Damon.
That's right. That's right. You had a good one actually, it might be the best answer. But why don't you share your answer first? Because we did this before. But okay, we're going to make it sound as original as possible.
Don't worry, it wasn't that bad, listeners. We lost about 90 seconds of audio. Right. It wasn't like an entire episode. That's only happened to us once. And it only takes it to happen once, and you learn your fucking lesson after that, don't you? But okay, best pies: steak and ale pie, savoury pies, shepherd's pie, cottage pie. Those are two English classics. In terms of a sweet pie, a dessert pie, I do like a McDonald's apple pie, a lemon meringue pie, very nice, and a banoffee pie, that's pretty good as well. And what about you, Damon? What pies do you enjoy eating?
I would say banana cream pie has got to be up there. Banana cream pie is fucking great, especially if you get a good one. And then I might go. I do like an apple pie, but I don't like many fruit pies. Like I don't like a blueberry pie, ugh, or like a big cherry pie, or no, that's no, it's too much. It's too much. Have you ever had the shoe fly pie? That's a very regional thing.
Shoe fly.
I say yes, shoe fly pie. Yeah.
How's that spelled?
I'm assuming it's shoe-fly. I don't know.
What, a shoe like the shoe you put on your foot?
I think so. I'm not 1,000% sure.
Oh, okay. No, it's SHOOFLY.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like it's a shoofly.
Yeah.
Shoofly pie made of desert molasses. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. No, that sounds interesting. I've never tried that.
It's like
similar to a coffee cake, but gooey molasses bottom. Ooh.
Yes. Yeah, that's probably right. So if you go out into like Pennsylvania, Dutch country, like Amish, they have all those kind of pies. I do like a good apple pie, though. I do like a good apple pie. I like it with the lattice top, the little crunchy sugar. That's fantastic. Fuck. Now I want. All right. Let me ask you this: are you a pie or a cake guy?
Partial to both. I don't eat many pies.
No.
This is rubbish. This is not an interesting conversation. I'm pulling the plug on the pie chat.
Really?
No, it's rubbish. No, going it. We're moving on.
All right.
Let's talk Wrestling Observer Newsletter Awards. So
that's better than pie.
Good haul for New Japan. Yes, it is better than pie. And certainly Will Ospreay will be enjoying his most outstanding award more than a lovely portion of shepherd's pie with nice grilled cheese on top. So Will Ospreay, most outstanding match of the year was Ospreay versus Okada, the G1 match. The Japan MVP was Okada, the Europe MVP was Ospreay, and best announcer, our friend Kevin Kelly, back on top, where he belongs. And Chris Charlton doing well in that as well. So I've spoken before, they are the best announced team in the business, so it's good to see Chris and Kevin getting their flowers for that.
I love it, yeah. I mean, there's really no one else aside. I mean, Excalibur, he gets a lot of love, and rightfully so. Like I think he's the best of AEW's entire fucking crew. So yeah, it's good to see Kevin Kelly up there. He deserves it. He really does. He really fucking deserves it. I always love during the Observer Award season where you get the flurry of people bitching and moaning. Oh, Dave's biased. Oh, Dave. It's voted upon. like it's the people that's vote. Every year we
even if it wasn't, I just cannot imagine in the year of our Lord getting upset about stuff that Dave Meltzer likes. Like, Jesus Christ. I mean, come on. If what are we doing? Why is that? Why are people getting annoyed at that still?
I don't know. I promise you, I don't know. Like, I just, like, I don't know. It's like I feel like
Getting really angry about a man who likes things that he likes.
Right.
Why does he like that thing? Why does this man like a thing?
Right.
I want him to like another thing.
Right. And then he's like, and then everybody else who subscribes to him just feels exactly the same way. No, that's not. I don't think that's true at all. I don't know. I don't. Look, Dave has his faults. I think everyone can agree with that. I think he would agree with it. But
I don't. I think he's perfect.
you love him just the way he is. All right.
Otherwise. Yes. I love him just the way he is.
All right. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Nah, I feel, and I was going to say I don't feel bad for Dave, but like, I don't know. I just, like I said, I just find it hilarious. Every fucking year we go through it. Every fucking year you say it, and it's like, are you? I don't know. I wish I could find the words. Oh yeah, idiots, fucking idiots. That's okay. That's the word I'm looking for. Good. Okay, I'm good.
All right. There's a very good documentary on New Japan World called Wrestle Kingdom 17. What is Fighting Spirit? So it's basically behind the scenes look at the event and interviews with everyone in the wake of the passing of Antonio Inoki, asking fans and members of the production staff and the wrestlers themselves, what does strong style mean? Fighting spirit. What is fighting style? Fighting spirit, fighting style. They're sort of synonymous, aren't they?
Yeah.
But it was just interesting. I like that. My biggest takeaway from it was Shota Umino's grandma glasses. I mean, that was, when you saw the cameras rolling, you should be like, okay, maybe I'll take my glasses off before this because people are going to see this and I look like an old lady. But no, fair play to me. Just went right on ahead with it.
He did look like it. Oh, those glasses. I did. I remember watching that and thinking, what the fuck is he wearing? Yeah, they were horrible. But what wasn't horrible was the production. And I don't think there's a company on planet Earth that does a better job. I don't care what anybody says. Like, it just, like, it's legitimate emotion and a legitimate, like, it's not acting and it's not put on bullshit and it's not just hokey, dumb, fucking insult your intelligence kind of stuff. It's just well done. And the way that they incorporated various wrestlers throughout, of course, Okada they talked to, and even like Togi Makabe, if I'm not mistaken, and a couple other people, and they kind of interspurt. Oh, and Tatsumi Fujinami, they had a long segment with, and then the way they kind of interweave fan interaction. I'm sorry, I just think that they're the fucking best. I look forward to seeing those documentary things that they put together all the time, because I just think I wish they would have one a month. I wish they could find a way to do one a month, because I just think that they're so good. And I don't know, they just feel like they feel real. They feel genuine. That's the word I'm looking for. They feel genuine. And
yes. Those little moments they capture, like, at the end of the show where Okada's on stage and Ishii-san done. It's like, wow, this is the megastar, the king of professional wrestling in Japan. But then it just follows him going through that curtain into this, big, empty, lonely, cavernous arena, like backstage in the halls, and he's just sort of trudging off, all exhausted. And there's just something kind of melancholy about that these documentaries do a tremendous job capturing just those quiet little moments between the bright lights.
Yeah, I agree. Well, like they're kind of ready to go up the steps and out the ramp, and they're kind of collecting their thoughts, and they're just trying to get their mind mentally prepared for what's ahead. Yeah, it's really good. I just love that element of pro wrestling. Like, to me, I'm more interested in like that, like the moments before they're going out, or even like Ospreay, just like kind of like hopping on that platform to have him rise. You know what I mean? Like I like that kind of stuff, as sometimes even more than the actual pro wrestling. So the logistics behind it, the behind the curtain, if you will. So yeah, I mean, if you haven't watched it, I can't recommend it enough. It's really, really good, really good. And also, like, it's not a, like an Antonio Inoki documentary, but he is the foundation for that what does fighting spirit mean? It's interwoven into who he is. So obviously he's going to be a major focus, but it wasn't like this. It was this gigantic tribute. It was more of people's interpretation of what that means. And maybe not strangely enough, but strangely enough, everybody had a slightly different spin on it and a different take. It's almost like, music or religion or a combination of both. It was just an interesting thing to see and hear. And even like they're talking to people on the business side of New Japan Pro Wrestling and talking about what it means, and referee Marty Asani and Red Shoes, I mean, they covered it. They covered it. And of course, fans outside the dome. I don't know. I can't recommend it highly enough.
Yeah, my most interesting parts were when they're talking to Tanahashi, and he was very candid about this, and he was talking about how he thinks strong style is a curse, like he can't compete with the nostalgia, and his strategy was just to avoid the sort of spectre of Inoki altogether and try and create something new. So it's just quite interesting, that line he said, where he said, "I have everything except fighting spirit." Right. So he just sort of completely rejected this, and just talking to other people like Shibata, he said he hated being put together with Nakamura and Tanahashi, and none of them liked it by the sounds of things. But I mean, with that being said, it's nice to see how this nebulous, pretty gimmicky concept seemed to have given a lot of people strength and purpose in their lives.
Yeah, it really did, and it's really a foundation of everything that's going on within the company, outside the company, the people that they bring in, the people who have trained in like the old LA dojo, and even the new one. It's just interwoven in, and again, it is pro wrestling, right? Right? Still pro wrestling, even though Inoki really loves stroking that MMA fire, but history has shown that maybe Hiroshi Tanahashi was right all along.
And hey, speaking of Shibata, we got news filtering. I think it was yesterday, actually. He was doing some sort of meet and greet online thing. I don't know what it was, but he said that he signed a new contract with New Japan. He actually got the contract out in front of the camera for everyone to see, which caught me off guard a little bit, because I was sort of feeling some dissatisfaction from him. I kind of got the impression he was desperate to wrestle, and for whatever reason New Japan wouldn't let him wrestle, and I kind of felt maybe he had one foot out the door. So I don't know if this is a deal that something he's just come to terms with, or maybe it's a deal that is giving him more freedom and flexibility to wrestle for other promotions, or maybe Krusty is coming and he's going to be wrestling some matches with New Japan. I don't know. Like, that would be, if I had to pick one of them, like, if this is a guy who wants to wrestle, then why would he sign a contract for a company that's not going to allow him to wrestle?
Right. Again, unless they pawn him off other promotions doing stuff like that, but you can't. I mean, he's not going to do that for 2 years. I mean, I would find it amazing to sign a contract for 2 years. And again, maybe he's just look. I think everyone is in agreement that it would be nice to see him as an active pro wrestler within New Japan Pro Wrestling, and maybe not training and being a person who is a point person for the training. Now, with that said, he's not young, right? That injury occurred how long ago? Over 5 years? Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, it was 2017. So.
Okay. I mean, it's been a while since he's been a true full-time pro wrestler. And that's not to say that he can't go and get in ring shape. Yeah, absolutely. And that's not even to say that he's not right now. But, it's not like this is a 23-year-old that's going to come back. This is I don't know how old, but I'm going to say at least 40-something, right? Am I on?
Unless we forget, Damon, his brain was removed,
right?
Placed in a jar. So it's hard to come back from that.
Speaking of Dave, you know what? Dave does suck. No, just kidding, of course. That was one of the fucking greatest lines of all time. I'm not kidding. That is maybe one of the greatest lines ever in the Wrestling Observer newsletter. So good. So fucking good. He literally had his brain removed.
Ice cream scoop.
All I think of is I don't know, maybe it's like The Simpsons or Futurama or one of those fucking things, just like a brain hooked up to wires, just kind of functioning on its own. But again, I don't. How old is Monsieur Shibata? Let me see.
Let's have a look. Shibata Manufacturing Co. No, I thought I could get away with just searching for Shibata, and it would. It's not worked. 43 years.
43. Okay. So again, I mean, it's not super old, but it's again, he's not 20 something. So, I will say this: if he can go, he can go. Let him go. Let him do what he's got to do. Let him do it. Now, again, sometimes pro wrestlers aren't their best advocates for themselves, and they're going to do things that are incredibly stupid just to get into a ring. But, big but, you also have to, if everything lines up medically and he's okay to go, then what the fuck? Let's go. What are we waiting for? And a 2-year contract, And did he specifically say what it was for, or he just said just?
I don't know if it was 2-year contract.
Okay,
he just said new contract. I don't know about the length or the details of it.
Okay, so we don't even know what role that is. I mean, he signs a contract to be what, a head trainer for 2 years, contracted pro wrestler, like what? What is he doing for those 2 years? And I think that's a key thing that's missing from that conversation. It's great that he's holding up that contract. Okay. To do what is my question.
Yes. I don't know. I'm kind of tired of discussing it, to be honest. Let's just, shit will get off the pot.
Yeah.
I would much rather see him wrestling in New Japan than being jobbed out to Orange Cassidy, but everyone is saying that. So, yeah, fingers crossed. Okay, Damon, we've got 4 places we can go to today. I'm going to let you decide where you'd like to go first. We can go to the Noah Keiji Muto Grand Final Pro Wrestling Last Love Holdout. We can talk Fantasticamania. We can do the All-Star Junior Festival preview. That's coming up on Wednesday. Or we can do New Japan Cup Pick'ems.
I say we start with the Noah Dome Spectacular. Let's start there. And then we can work our way through the other topics.
My first thing that struck me watching this, Damon, was the production. I felt absolutely smoked New Japan's production. Like the entrances, the stage setup, the video packages, just the little infographics that popped up during the matches. And of course, that's to be expected considering that Noah are a subsidiary of a digital advertising company, Cyber Agent. But I certainly think there's some things that New Japan could pick up there.
I actually questioned it myself in the sense of who's footing the bill for that, because it did look fantastic. Every level of New Japan Wrestle Kingdom type production and then some. I mean, the video boards are there for the baseball team that plays there. And it's, some of it is part of the stadium, but the whole stage setup and all that, like, who's paying for that? And then when you kind of see the results, I'm like, oh, that's who paid for it. That makes sense now. If they're footing the bill. But I don't know if that's to be the case. Let me be very clear. I mean, I'm sure we can ask, but it did look, it did not, let's put it this way. It did not look second grade. It did not look, dollar store, as one Joe Lanza loves to say. It did not look in any way like a Mickey Mouse promotion. This was, it looked great. And again, you even mentioned it at certain points and at certain things. I think New Japan can kind of, they might want to take a look at that and incorporate that in some of their own shows. Because, I thought the production-wise, it looked great.
Now, I'm good to just sort of skip ahead to talk about the New Japan wrestling involvement. So the first match I would talk about was the Bullet Club versus Mazada and Nosawa Rongai match. Is there anything prior to that you are desperate to get your hot takes in for?
No, please, stop.
Okay, well, this was Gedo and Taiji Ishimori defeating Mazada and Nosawa Rongai, 4 minutes 43 seconds. So this is Nosawa Rongai, the booker of Pro Wrestling Noah and Dragon Gate and All Japan and DDT and Stardom and New Japan. Source, trust me, bro. Sorry. I don't know, like, for me, WrestleMania 24 has, like, completely poisoned the well in terms of the old I'm sorry, I love you retirement spot. I mean, at least Ishimori found it emotional, because I was rolling my eyes pretty hard at that.
Yeah, me too. Look, it did seem in one moment, Taiji Ishimori just wound up sobbing. I was like, what did I miss? I had to rewind it. I had to go back and be like, what the fuck happened here? Why is somebody so upset here? I know it did seem silly. I mean, do you think that's like a swan song? Do you think that's is that? I don't know. I'll kind of
seemed like it, didn't it? Yeah. I don't know if he just sort of decided there and then, like, I'm going to retire now. Quickly finish me off. But,
right.
Yeah, that's what it looked like, at least.
Yeah, it did have that, or at least they were attempting for that kind of vibe. But truth be told, I was even surprised that New Japan came up on on the winning side, even in that match. I was like, oh, it's going to be one of those nights, to be honest with you. I mean, you have a guy who...
Oh, yes, it certainly was.
I mean, you have a guy who has absolutely no reason not to look at the lights at the Dome. But, nope, he wasn't the one. So, okay. Look, again, maybe it was some kind of bigger plan to... maybe not officially, but to kind of say goodbye to a worker. I mean, riding off into the sunset, possibly, maybe. But yeah, I mean, the one thing that left me there was it's going to be one of those kind of nights, huh? Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, when the team with Gedo in it is going over, then it's going to be a special night for New Japan Pro Wrestling fans. Which brings us on to a singles match with Hiromu Takahashi defeating Mamasa Amakusa, which I thought was a really good match. I thought there were some fun spots with a mask that Amakusa used to wear when he was under the Kenbai gimmick, when he was in Michinoku Pro in the late 2000s. I was clued up on the Discord here. Some of the freaks told me he actually had a few matches with Hiromu in England about 10 years ago at such grand venues as the Assembly Hall Theatre in Royal Tunbridge Wells, Fairfield Halls in Croydon, Victoria Hall in Hanley, Staffordshire, Exeter Hall in Kidlington, and here's the icing on the cake, Damon, a house show at Butlins Holiday Resort in Minehead, Somerset. So what a way they've got. I mean, for any UK listeners out there, just let that sink in. Hiromu Takahashi and Amakusa teaming up at fucking Butlins. That blew my mind. But I mean, back to the match. I mean, at the very least, it was good to see Hiromu mixing it up with some fresh opponents. And Amakusa, I'm no expert on him, but he looks reinvigorated after the gimmick change. And I actually came away from this match more interested in Amakusa than Hiromu, which, Hiromu is kind of... unfortunately, he's sort of become emblematic of the staleness of the New Japan junior title scene. Lio Rush notwithstanding, but maybe even junior heavyweight wrestling in Japan in general. But in this match, it was Amakusa who was doing all the cool, high risk, high flying stuff, while Hiromu was the base, which is quite the turnaround. Thinking the way that Hiromu re-debuted after his excursion, and he was the guy doing all that stuff. And it's understandable given his injury struggles over the last few years. He's still a top wrestler, but he's not as thrilling as he once was. And I just think they need to be, if they're not already doing so, looking for that next junior ace and long-term using Hiromu to get whomever that is over. And I'm not saying Hiromu's about to retire or anything like that, but you got to be looking at him and having an eye on the future and think, okay, who's next? Is it, is Master Wato? Is he going to be the guy after that? So yeah, a lot of question marks there.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think one of the biggest challenges has been is finding guys that he can work with that, wouldn't necessarily be considered stale. I think that's been a bit of a challenge. And two, I don't know. I mean, the injuries have not done him any favor. That's for certain. There does seem to be, I don't know, maybe a feeling of like what do we do with him? He could still run and lead the junior division, which he has been. I don't know. I don't.
Openweight title, Damon. Never openweight title. Make it proper openweight. That is what he should be doing. And he sort of flirted with that. Was it last year or the year before that? I can't even remember. But they did not pull the trigger on it. I think he could.
There's a couple guys like that.
Make that division and that title into a draw. I think people would be really into that. But
I would do. I think that's probably the best way. Or maybe even like a tag situation. I mean, there's no reason why he can't tag with like fucking Shingo or don't say Bushi, but like just to go after like the big boy tag belts. I don't see why not. That would be great. Again, you can't make him grow though. Like you can't make him taller. That's just what are you going to do? Have him come out in fucking clown stilts?
I don't know, man. Come on, he's like mixed it up with heavyweights at this point. Post pandemic in New Japan Cup, he's wrestled Okada, he's wrestled Ishii, he's wrestled Evil.
I know.
I think, and it's not like, wow, this guy looks like so tiny in there. No one cares.
I just think it's totally fucking passe. I really do. I think the idea of juniors and I don't know. And I've said it for quite a while now. Like it really feels like it doesn't happen anywhere else, does it? It doesn't happen anywhere else. And I think you're missing out on a lot. But again, tradition be what it is. It's going to stay that way for who knows how long. But yeah, I think never titles would be perfect. You need something because, I mean, I don't want to say he's getting stale by the minute, but he's getting stale by the minute. And, unless they find that one person to really jumpstart a true, honest to God feud. Because aside from Despy, has he really had a super major feud? Dragon Lee, maybe. But I don't even know if I would consider that like a major feud, would you?
They were building to it. I mean, they got the history between them, of course, when he was on Excursion, but that had the legs cut out from under it, obviously, because Dragon Lee's company affiliations now. And I mean, the Ishimori rivalry was a pretty good one.
Yeah.
But there's got to be a new one because from all the people in the current division, it seems like he's finished everyone else off. So Lio Rush, I'm putting a lot of hope into that match coming up and praying that Lio wins, to be honest.
Yeah, just to freshen it up a little bit. Yeah, and again, I'm not saying it's bad. It just feels like it's in this weird kind of holding pattern. I don't know how you fix it aside from spicing it up with different people being brought in.
Okay, the next match is Kazuchika Okada defeating Kaito Kiyomiya in 16 minutes 32 seconds. Man, this was fucking great. What a match this was. Like I said after Wrestle Kingdom that Okada looked pissed off against Jay White. He was working a lot more stiff than he usually did. That looks like it's going to be the Okada flavour we're getting this year, and it's so good to watch. He's basically turned into a massive bully, and it's great. And it's great for us as New Japan fans, seeing him absolutely clowning on the GHC champion. Is it great for Kaito Kiyomiya? I don't know. Like, maybe having your champion getting soundly beaten in 15 minutes after demanding a no time limit match isn't a good look. I'm no expert, but when Okada's putting the Rainmaker pose after 5 minutes, then that is sending a clear message, kayfabe or otherwise. Now, look, this was not a squash match. No, I'm not saying that at all. It was high intensity. It was very different, very refreshing to the usual Okada match layout. They didn't do the usual 10 minutes of feeling each other out. They went straight into it. Kaito got plenty in there. I thought the brawl on the outside was great. In particular, Okada was selling a lot for him. The subsequent parts where he was going after Okada's arm, he really had him on the ropes there. So there were some good near falls. The Shining Wizard, the Dragon Suplex. This is not the blowout that the finish might indicate if you watch that in isolation. But however, that finish cannot be ignored. I thought Kaito, he really got punked out there because Okada picked his shoulders up after the first Rainmaker, then Enzo Giri thrown in an Emerald Flosion, of course the signature move of Misawa, the founder of Pro Wrestling Noah, before landing another Rainmaker, putting him away. Then he gets his arm raised, rolls out of the ring. He's out of there like he had a train to catch. So, not a squash match at all, but it was a dominant win. Backstage, he's saying he's done with Kaito, he's done with Noah, no rematch. Now, look, if this was done against a fellow New Japan wrestler, like, I don't know, Shota Umino or Red, then you think, yeah, this is the start of an incredible long-term story which culminates in Kaito eventually getting his win over Okada on a big stage. But look, Kaito Kiyomiya does not work for New Japan Pro Wrestling. That long-term story, it might happen, but don't count on it. Because you always got to ask yourself the question, what's in it for New Japan to do that? It's a cooler story for the fans who enjoy both promotions. I think it would be a cooler story, but I do not think New Japan give a solitary fuck about that. And I've said it from Jump Street, New Japan Pro Wrestling don't play nice. No. You look who they gave up last year. They gave up Taka, Gedo, Dick Togo, Kanemaru. This year they jobbed out Bushi and Sanada, and to be honest, I'm surprised they did that. And here in the Tokyo Dome, on a Pro Wrestling Noah show, this is Noah's biggest show in years, New Japan went 4-0. And I'm not putting a value judgment on that decision. I'm just pointing out this is the lay of the land. This is just what they do. You want to use our guys to pop a house? Sure, but this is how it's going down. And yeah, of course, this is a New Japan podcast, so analysis of whether this is good for Noah or good for Kaito, I'm leaving that to others. You can listen to the Flagship or Emerald Flow Show. They know that stuff better than me. But I'll just say that if it was Okada losing in 15 minutes to, I don't know, Roman Reigns or MGF and getting insulted like that, I would have shit to say.
Oh, God,
Point being, right? Don't hold your breath on this being some long-term amazing story between Okada and Kaito, because all the evidence points to this being simply a case of, well, not just New Japan flexing, but Pro Wrestling Noah, historically, they've got no qualms about geeking out Kaito for short-term popping a house at the expense of a big star. But yeah, I mean, New Japan, they're the market leaders in the country, and they do be like that, Damon.
Yeah, they sure do. It is amazing to me, simply amazing to me that it would be allowed. Like, you're right. The only thing I can think of is the short-term, we got money in our pockets now kind of feeling, because yes, it was a competitive match. Yes, and let me just say, fucking great match. Enjoyed it incredibly. I love the fact that it was 16 minutes. Now, we could talk about, is it good for, look, if I'm a Noah fan, if I'm sitting there watching this show thinking, okay, we're in a big spot here, we don't necessarily have to win the majority, but we need to look good in the I would be fucking, I'd be hot. I would be hot. Because that finish was, I mean, aside from fucking Master Wato, can you name a more decisive finish to and it wasn't even a championship match, but okay, with the heavyweight champion, do you that was hit the Rainmaker, hit moves that are synonymous with a promotion, and do it again, and not only that, Joe, the way he covered him was just hand on chest. He wasn't even hooked. It was just a hand was on his chest. Counted the 3. And then you're right, just boom, like it was double parked outside. He had a table reserved at TGI Fridays. Yeah, if I'm Noah, I would be like, or if I'm a Noah follower, I'd be like, what in the fuck is that? Which kind of has me pointing that there has to be something more. It can't possibly be. Like, they wouldn't be so short-sighted to say, okay, whatever you want, New Japan Pro Wrestling, we'll look like fucking, that we're not in your league just so we can get this nice payday. And trust me, it's probably a nice payday, right? There were 30,000 people in that dome. I mean, Muto has a lot of nostalgia factor. Let's put it that way. And to see his last match, there were people I know people who were there, flew over. Boy, again, I hope that money serves them well, because if I'm a Noah, if I'm a Noah fan, I know I'm not in New Japan's league. I know the wrestlers that I support are not in New Japan's league, and I guess I'm gathering that, if, and then not to bring it back to Premier League, but if you're like a team that's at the bottom of the fucking table, or you're a team that's like in Champions League or whatever the secondary tier is, you're not good enough. You know what I mean? You just know you're not good enough, and that's not a good feeling. And I think there's still money to be made. But, yeah. Look, I know this is a complete hedge, but it's either we're done here or there has to be something else, because I just can't imagine just the short-sightedness of it.
Well, yeah, I've said, Pro Wrestling Noah. I mean, if you look at the way that they have booked him over the last 2 years, then short-sightedness is that's the modus operandi there. So we cannot act surprised, like, oh my goodness, what are they doing to Kato? Because this is what they do to him, and maybe this is all part of Okada's plan to try and get him to jump ship. Because I'm sure if New Japan had a talent like Kato at their disposal, things might be a bit different. But
now, would you love that? I would love that. I would eat that up.
Oh yeah,
yes.
He is exactly the sort of person that New Japan are missing. I've said that for years.
Yeah, you're right. I would scoop that up in a fucking heartbeat. And again, that's what lends like if you're him, would you? I don't know. I mean, who knows what happened backstage? But wouldn't you put up a little bit of a fucking argument on that one? I'm doing what and how long? And how's this finish going? Like, what's in it for me? Not for nothing. Which, again,
he was probably just relieved that he was dropping to someone who has all their own teeth.
Oh, so terrible. Well, look, hopefully better days are ahead for everyone involved. To be honest with you,
you could say for Kato, he's feuding with Jake Lee next, so it's no, not so good.
Oof. All right, well, again, but I love the match. I thought the match was fantastic, and a 16-minute match to boot. Perfect.
Yes, more of that, please, Okada, please. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about the main. Well, I say main event. It wasn't. Tetsuya Naito defeated Keiji Muto in 28 minutes 58 seconds. I don't have a lot of time for this Muto retirement run. The man, as we know, it's no secret, he's an absolute grifter. He's the Japanese Hogan. He has absolutely milked this to the point at which I was just hoping he'd get on with it and hang up his boots so we could stop talking about him. And I came into this show and this match with that attitude, knowing he's physically shot and it'd have to be the mother of all carry jobs from Naito to get something watchable out of Muto. If you didn't know either of these wrestlers and had the sound turned off, let's be honest, in that vacuum, the in-ring work, it's crap. But Damon, I can't lie, they got me.
Yeah.
The pre-match package, the pageantry, the medley of his themes. Shout out Music of the Mat for a great episode on that. They used all the pro wrestling smoke and mirrors. They fucking got me. They reeled me in. This was an old carny experiencing, coming to terms with his last moment in the spotlight. And I don't know, there was something compelling about that, even down to the little moments like Muto getting startled by his own pyro when he's walking down the ramp.
You see that? That was funny.
Yeah, this is an old man who's going to wake up the next day and remember that he's not a pro wrestler anymore and have a lot of conflicting emotions about that. And you could see those emotions written all over his perfectly spherical, bald, shiny head throughout the match. Like those moments where he's going up for the moonsault and realizing, oh, Jesus Christ, I can't do this anymore. I thought his emoting was fantastic then and made those moments very poetic, very dramatic. And look, your mileage may vary. A lot of people will hate this match, and I totally get it. But the story, the emotion, that red hot crowd, they all made it work for me. And I'm reminded, someone was talking about it recently, that Cody Rhodes, he said the greatest pro wrestling match was Hogan versus Rock at WrestleMania 18. And I understand what he means now, because this is the essence of the sport, is it not? Like, when you strip away all the athleticism and the flips and the head drops, the forearms, finisher reversals, then we see the heart of pro wrestling. And here were two guys who just get it. I thought it was a tremendous performance from Naito. He was a great foil for Muto. He leaned into his Ingobernable persona to give the crowd what they wanted. And they both had the crowd in the palms of their hands with, a fundamentally basic match.
Yeah.
But it's just that moment where he's got Naito in the figure four and they're screaming at each other. That was a very memorable visual, and all those conflicting emotions on the face of Naito as well. After he pins Muto and he realizes the gravity of what he's just done, he's just retired his hero in a beautifully understated moment, rather than usual, I'm sorry, I love you, mawkishness. Like, you could see Naito visibly trying his best to stoically hold it together and not let the emotions overwhelm him. And then Muto is just turning around like, get the fuck out of the ring, kid. This is my moment. Just piss off. And look, I know people might be annoyed at him pulling one last Muto stunt and doing the impromptu Chono match to eclipse whatever shine Naito might have got. But look, Muto's been trying to get Chono in the ring since Wrestle Kingdom. He did it back then. Naito doesn't need it. He doesn't need that rub. Right. And Muto with Chono is a much more fitting and powerful end to his career. And I think it was the right move. And of course, Chono, he never had a proper retirement match either. And it sent the crowd home with a big smile on their faces. And I don't think Destino 1, 2, 3, bye-bye everyone, that wouldn't have hit the same. And I think you've got to have a pretty hardened heart not to feel something at the tributes to Misawa and Hashimoto, who are, of course, Muto and Chono's peers, tragically lost their lives. They weren't able to have their own retirements either. And being reminded of them made me appreciate that for, as much of a worker Muto, where's all the carny shit he's done over the years, it's nice to see a wrestler going out on his own terms. And hopefully he sticks to it, because this is a privilege that very few wrestlers get.
What if you could make fresh, delicious meals at home without the stress of planning, prepping, or cleaning up? Introducing Tavala. Tavala is a first-of-its-kind meal service that makes eating well effortless. By combining a countertop smart oven with delivered meals, just scan a QR code to cook dinner. First, choose from a variety of chef-crafted meals delivered weekly to your door. When you're ready to eat, just do 1 minute of easy prep. Next, scan your meal's QR code with the Tavala Smart Oven, while the oven automatically switches between modes and temperatures for the perfect cook. Just sit back and relax. Your food's ready in 25 minutes or less. No shopping, no chopping, no cleanup. Simplify mealtime today with Tavala. Go to Tavala.com now to save $150 on a Tavala Smart Oven when you agree to order meals 6 times. That's TOVALA.com. Promo applied automatically at checkout. Tavala. Eat well effortlessly. Tavala.com.
Yeah, and I think that's, if you're a betting man, you're probably going against him staying retired. But nonetheless, a couple points. One, there's something to be said about his beginnings in the 80s with Inoki and then with Maeda and with Nobuhiko Takada. And, like, he was this fucking red hot young prospect that people just gravitated to. And, you know, for a lot of people that got into Japanese pro wrestling, he was the catalyst. He was the guy, because truth be told, the gimmick was great. It was so fucking cool. And he nailed it with it. Like, it's kind of like Great Okan that I talk about. Like, it has a very thin line between hokey and great. And he walked that line perfectly. And he made a career out of what you talked about for the past, 15 years maybe, you know, doing just what you described, because physically he just couldn't do what he used to do.
That Wrestle Kingdom 3 match with Tanahashi that I discussed with Chris Charlton on his Eggshells podcast, he looked like he was on his last legs then.
Right. Right.
That was in 2009.
Right. You're exactly right. Yes, they did. I mean, they spent a lot of time on that fucking mat. Let's put it that way. They spent a ton of time on the mat. But when they had to go, you know, he gave everything he could. I mean, the dude could barely walk down the fucking ramp. Let's be truthful. But, you know, he is a legend. And he was one of the best fucking like 1989, him in WCW was magic. And then him coming back to New Japan and then having those matches, you know, those opening matches with like Steamboat and even feuds with like Inoki and Hase and like there's so much cool shit. A lot of his stuff was smoke and mirrors, no doubt. Great entrances, memorable pro wrestling moments, but like he tapped into that. Like he tapped into magical wrestling moments. I mean, him against Nobuhiko Takada, you know, when it was UWF, it was, I don't know, maybe it was UWFI or the third version of UWF that sold at the Dome, and like that was unbelievably great, fantastic, great. But again, it's a perfect example of a guy who probably outlasted his abilities. By doing that, by having those magical moments and even like working in a hustle, you know, and, you know, that kind of stuff, you know, he did what he had to do. Let's put it that way. He did what he had to do. I thought that match was great for everything other than the action in the ring, and the action in the ring was fine. It wasn't great. It was fine. But yeah, everything else was just fantastic. Masahiro Chono getting in the ring and Muto tapping out to fucking an STF. I mean, that's taking people back to, you know, early 90s, mid 90s. Well, and you're right. The Hashimoto angle and the Misawa angle, who, you know, two people who unfortunately did not have the opportunity to have that final match and that final run, and to kind of, I don't want to say put a ribbon on that era, but maybe it gave a lot of people, not only him, but a lot of people somewhat peace of mind. I mean, you look at that VIP row. There's Tatsumi Fujinami. There's Riki Choshu. There's Liger's there. Hiroshi Tanahashi's there. Obviously Masahiro Chono. Like it did scratch that nostalgia itch that, you know, I hate to say it, but that truly does work when you get somebody who is worthy of the nostalgia. Absolutely.
It's funny, I was discussing this with Manabu. He says that the Muto Chono spot and the image is getting a lot of buzz. I know, maybe as a result, future New Japan shows are selling well, people dipping back in. So promotionally, this was a great show for New Japan Pro Wrestling, and it wasn't even a New Japan show. This was a Pro Wrestling Noah show, and it was a big New Japan celebration, New Japan reunion.
Yeah, it really was. It was that is accurate. You know what? I never, or I haven't necessarily made that correlation. Yeah, it is pretty amazing that how unbelievable of a celebration it was for New Japan Pro Wrestling at a Pro Wrestling Noah big show. It really was. Oh my God. Imagine if you're a fan, like if you have like an active dislike of New Japan Pro Wrestling, and you're a Pro Wrestling Noah person. You bleed green. And then you watch that show. You got to be ready to jump out a fucking window. Oh, jump out a fucking window. You kidding me? Oh my God. Yeah, all right, let me ask you this. Would that go down as maybe one of the wackiest big shows ever? Like if we go back, if we fast forward maybe 5-10 years, and we learn about the how did this come about? I bet you there's some fucking good stories in there. I really do. There's got to be there's got to be somebody with like gambling debts that needed the money so bad. They're like, I fucking everybody jobs. I got the bookies on my back. I got the Yakuza on my back. Oh, fucking A. Good shit.
What's funny about this is that I've not seen many articles or discussions with people sort of reminiscing about the career of Keiji Muto and what are his best matches and his legacy and all that. People, just because it's been drawn out so long, I think people just want a bit of a break from it. But we have got questions for that. Multiverse A says, what are the most important Keiji Muto moments in New Japan? What are your favourite moments from his career? And Mark says, what's Damon's favourite Muto match or moment in New Japan? And can we get Chono for the G1?
Mr. G1. That Dome show with, kind of culminating the UWF and New Japan feud with Takada, I think was, at the time it was the biggest gate in pro wrestling. It was awesome and pro wrestling winning, Yeah, that is one of those great moments. Like you think about his career, like he's like him starting as like that young lion and getting more and more opportunity. His feud, they had a pretty great feud for tag titles, if I'm not mistaken. Who was it? Nakoshinaka, was it? Yeah, maybe it was. Obviously, the him debuting the Muta gimmick back in New Japan was pretty huge. Like it just got over. Like I just remember, I think it was against Steamboat, his first match. It was on a show where I think it was an Inoki and like Lou Thayas, I want to say. I could be wrong. Like in like this exhibition match. And I just remember all these like Muta comes down and he I guess he's suspended from the ceiling and he comes down on one of those cables and there's like all these ninjas, like people playing ninjas, jumping around in the ring. I just remember that. It just looked very awkward and very just too much going on, right? I remember him wrestling on a show in Atlantic City, New Jersey. They some guy, I don't know, I don't even know what the backstory was, but they ran a show at the minor league baseball stadium, and I couldn't even tell you who the fuck he wrestled, but he was there, and I was like, I got to go to this fucking show, and when am I going to see this again? And that was, Joel, if I say 20 years ago. That was amazing. And then I remember him, like I was sitting at a Wrestle One show in Corcoran Hall. He comes out and he can barely walk. And our friend Fumi took a picture. And it's just me with a beer, like looking at Muta. I don't know. It's fun. So there you go. There's some of my Muta moments.
David says, is Naito being booked in a Domain event, then not ending up in the final match of the night? A perfect summary of his career. I mean, I'm sure Naito doesn't care. He didn't need that. And I think he was probably just happy to be in there for the match. I don't think he's going to be like, oh, how could he do this to me? He won't give a shit, would he?
Yeah. He probably got a nice payday. He got to wrestle a guy who he looked up to and who meant a lot to him. To have him be, and I'll put in air quotes, the last match. Yeah, he trust me, he's fine. he's doing all right.
And of course, the big news: Kikuchi's back.
Yeah, I tell you, our boy
It didn't take long, did it?
No, it didn't. once one person left, that was it. Come on back. We kept your seat warm. Yeah, maybe we'll get some creativity back in the fucking joint. Yeah, I swear to God, where's Rob Feinstein when you need him? We need a fucking shoot interview with Kikuchi. That's what we fucking need. That guy, can you think of a, can you think of a more fucking legendary dude that no one really knows? I can't. It's pretty amazing, but yeah, there you go. It's amazing what happens when what, Joel? What am I trying to say?
I don't know. Let's move on. Let's do Fantasticamania now.
Oh, God.
If you're listening to this, you probably have not watched it. That's what I'm here for, listeners. It's the strong log is gone, but you can have the Fantastica monologue. Lucha Vlog says, not a question, but I feel like I had a better understanding of this podcast after 3 days of back scratch spots. Actually, I mean, this tour has been okay to good, but today's show, there was some really great stuff, and I'll get onto it. I mean, just little fun tidbits. Everyone's having a laugh at Fantasticamania. Taguchi's doing an Egyptian stereotype luchador gimmick where Naito's stolen his mask, and now Taguchi wants a mask versus hair match at the next CMLL anniversary show. And there's some quite funny promos where Taguchi's been trying to figure out how important his mask is. So they're worth checking out for sure. We got Tiger Mask versus Hijo del Villano the third, at Korakuen. So the latter's trying to take the mask off the former. So we've got all these little sort of narrative threads going into the doubleheader at Korakuen this week. I was shocked to find out there's actually no Rocky Romero in this tour. So I've been putting over this incredible match and feud that he's got with Volador Jr. Rocky's not even here for Fantasticamania, which seems like a bit of an own goal to me, but there you go. So some fun stuff that I would recommend checking out. So we had the show on let me get the results up. The 23rd, the Kyoto KBS Hall, with all the beautiful stained glass windows. So I enjoyed watching that actually just to see a New Japan show in such an amazing, stunning venue. So the big match here that I enjoyed the most was the Relevos Incredibles. So that's one or both teams has an old man out. So that's like a Technico with two Rudos or two Rudos with Technico. So this match had Tanahashi and El Desperado on the same team. So Despi was a fellow Technico. He was a baby face here. So, and I know he's been trending that way for years, but it was just funny for them to actually, label that and actually outright declare that. There was, funny backstage comments there where Tanahashi's trying to explain to Ultimo Guerrero that, Despi used to be a bad guy, but he's good now. He's clean now. And Despi's like, I saw the error of my ways. And I'm a good person now. So that was really funny. There was a quite a fun team with Sho, Magia Blanca, and Hechihero. Sho's team showed some surprisingly creative team moves, considering it has big random select energy. And it's quite refreshing to see Sho teaming with guys who aren't Yujiro and Dick Togo. Sometimes we forget that he can actually do other stuff. I've enjoyed Hechihero on this tour. He's very, very good. Absolute unit. Let's get him in the G1. That'll be fun. And then we've had this tag tournament going. So this is a bit of a strange one because we've got Los Guerrero Laguneros. So that's a Rudo unit that has Ultimo Guerrero, Templario. Previously had Atlantis Jr., who in CMLL programming got booted or quit that faction and is now a Technico. But on this Fantasticamania, they completely no-sold that, and he's still teaming up with them. There was like no reference whatsoever to the fact that in the CMLL kayfabe, he's already quit and is, doesn't like these guys anymore. It would be like the equivalent of having Tama Tonga teaming with, like, I don't know, Kenta and El Fantasma, and just saying like nothing about it, just pretending that they're buddies again.
Right? They
like,
did the TV taping. They did the TV taping 8 months ago, right?
I have no idea why. I've asked around, like, no one can give me a straight answer on this. I don't know, maybe because I don't know the stuff they put in New Japan World hasn't caught up to it yet, or they just they booked it and then can't be bothered to come up with something different. But it was quite funny anyway. So yeah, that was that. So they've been running this tag tournament where we've had the 4 teams. It's quite good. I mean, I would recommend, if you've got time on your hands, checking that out. So we had the finals of it today, with Atlantis Jr. and Ultimo Guerrero defeating Bushi and Titan in the final, and that was a pretty good match. The standout match on the 24th, if you're going to watch one match from that show, which was in Osaka, good crowd for this one, was the 4th match where we had Despi, Soberano Jr. and Mystico against Doki, Kanemaru and Hechihiro. So that was quite fun, actually seeing Despi on the opposite side to Kanemaru and Doki. I mean, of course, they've wrestled each other in Best of the Super Juniors, but these matches, they've just got like the same energy as those fun New Japan Strong multi-man tags. I'm quite sort of intrigued watching the team of Rey Cometa and Dolce Gardenia. So they are known as Los Atrapasueños. So, of course, Dolce Gardenia, I don't know if you're familiar with him, Damon. He's an exotico. So he's like trying to kiss his opponents and like putting them off. And I was sort of watching that, asking in the Discord, like, is this okay to be,
right,
finding enjoyment out of this? There's been other people who've done more extensive stuff about the exotico trope. But the feedback I got was like, these are more queer icons rather than being, like problematic stereotypes.
Okay.
I think it was Gig in the Discord said Bugs Bunny in a dress. Like you got to approach it through the lens of like, they are exploiting the Rudo's own toxic masculinity, and using it against them. Okay. And they're usually technicos, so everyone's cheering for them anyway. So I really enjoyed him back in Fantasticamania 2020. His interactions with Shingo, because someone like Shingo is like the perfect foil for him, like, right? Big, angry, dumb jock energy. So, yeah, I do like Dolce Gardenia, and I understand that there's the complexities around the Exotico, but yeah, he's really good. He's very entertaining, and yeah, there was also the other semi-final match, Los Guerreros Laguneros versus Los Depredadores. That was a really good match. Just really high-quality tag team wrestling, and it's just fun watching guys I wouldn't normally get a chance to watch doing it. I don't know, but, because this is their first time doing Fantasticamania for a few years, that they're sort of more energized and, excited and going all out to put on a great show in front of the Japanese fans. They haven't had a chance to do it for a while. But yeah, it's really good stuff. But the stand-up match was from today's show, the Sunday, February 26th show in Chiba, was the 4th match on the card, which was Doki, Templario, and Hechihiro defeating El Desperado, Soberano Jr., and Mystico. Like, honest to God, Damon, this is a match of the year candidate. I fucking love this one. It was just everything that is good about Fantasticamania, and it's just really great having guys like Doki and Despi who have worked in Mexico before and know what it's all about, and are not just phoning it in a Fantasticamania. They know what it means, and they know what it means to the Mexican wrestlers being there as well. And just this nice little narrative thread running through these shows where Doki, Soberano's been getting the best of him, and Doki's been losing these matches, but now finally he sort of learned from his previous mistakes and managed to beat Soberano. Soberano's been fantastic on this tour. Like, I really hope we haven't seen too much of him in New Japan. I know he did the Super Junior Tag League a few years ago and was kind of underwhelming, but he's been outstanding. He was the real star of this match. So I really hope that he gets a shot at Best of Super Juniors this year. It's not something I'm going to be holding my breath for, but I came away from this thinking, wow, this guy is really fucking good. Apparently, Doki can't get a shot. I think he's got some sort of national title. Apparently only Mexican people can compete for it. So I don't know if Doki is aware of that, but definitely go out of your way to see that match. So Ben says, if you've been watching Fantasticamania, which luchador not named Titan would you like to see in Best of the Super Juniors or have occasionally come over for a tour? So there you go. From the junior side, Soberano Jr., and from the heavyweight side, Hechihiro. So, yeah, if you're going to watch one match, do check out that 6-man match that I just talked about, because it was really, really good.
Okay. All right. Here's a problem that I have, though. Sorry to go right into a problem, but I wish it was at a different time during the calendar year. I think I would probably get into it more if it were just a different time of the year. I feel like we're in February and we're kind of gearing up for New Japan Cup, and we're kind of trying to digest the outcomes of Wrestle Kingdom and all that.
Yeah, it's squeezed in between the Muto retirement, and
Right.
then we've got this All-Star Junior Festival. It's really been crammed in there, and it's an afterthought. And it's a shame, because there's just such great energy on this tour. I'm really looking forward to the two Korakuen shows. Like, they definitely got the best is yet to come as far as Fantasticamania. So I would really say, like, definitely check out these Korakuen shows, because I think they will surprise a lot of people. I know Fantasticamania has been a hand wave, but for all the factors I've mentioned, guys on the New Japan side who really care about it, and the CMLL stars just, I think, really showing their appreciation for being there. I think the doubleheader at Korakuen, there's some really good singles matches on there, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Okay, I'm with you on the Korakuen shows. I mean, those I think are must-watch shows if you're a fan. Yeah, I'm with you on that. All right. Listen, I hate to be the wet blanket when it comes to Fantasticamania, but yeah, the Korakuen shows would be well worth it, and I definitely will check out that. But it was on today, I think it was. Was it? So yeah, I woke up a couple hours ago. I didn't see anything. Sorry.
Well, no, that's your homework, Damon. Go and watch that 6-man tag, and you won't be disappointed. I promise you.
All
and
right.
we can talk about it next week.
All right, that's a deal. That's a deal.
Okay, let's touch on the All-Star Junior Festival. So that will be coming up. Yeah, so we've got a busy week. So Monday and Tuesday are the Fantasticamania Korakuen Halls. And then Wednesday, also at Korakuen Hall, we have the All-Star Junior Festival. So the match order is still to be determined. That will be determined on the nights by the entrance music. So I'm just going by what has been listed here on the Japanese side. So this is not the official match order, but I'm just, I've got to approach it somehow. So thank you very much to our Discord. Andrew's given me a lot of tremendous information on this. Mitch, Gig, TJ as well. One of the wonderful things about having this community of freaks is that there's an expert for every promotion. Like, all of these guys, a lot of guys I've never heard of on this cards, someone can sort of give me explain like I'm five and say, yeah, this guy works for this promotion, this is what his gimmick is, this is the title he's holding, this is the significance, blah, blah, blah. So thank you very much to the guys who helped me out with this information. So I will pass on that wisdom to you, dear listener, and I will go in reverse order. So this is just the 8th match listed. I don't know if it's going to be the main event. I suspect it might be, because this is the one where there's the most star power. So this is a 6-man tag match with Hiromu Takahashi, Amakusa, who we've talked about before, and Fujita Junior Hayato versus Yamato Hayata and Kazuki Hashimoto. So, yeah, of course, we talked about Hiromu and Amakusa and their history. Fujita Junior Hayato is the Tohoku Junior Heavyweight Champion in Michinoku Pro. He's very, very good, apparently. Does lots of kicks. It's his gimmick. He had a brain tumor. He was out of wrestling for a while, but came back last year, won the title from Musashi in an emotional match, challenged Hiromu and Keno after the match. He also competed in Best of the Super Juniors back in 2010 and 2011. Yamato, he was in the Best of the Super Juniors in 2009. He was a semi-finalist in the Super J Cup also in 2009. On the other side of that match, Hayata is Noah's junior guy, probably in there to pair off with Amakusa and set something up with him. So he comes from the sleazy indies originally. Apparently women love him. He was the ace of the Noah Juniors till he was murdered by Ninja Mac at Ariake Arena. So he's just come back from injury. So yeah, Yamato, he's from Dragon Gate. He's been around for a very, very long time. He's been bitching about the show since Hiromu first suggested it. Currently on Twitter complaining that all the money will go to New Japan, complaining that New Japan fans only care about NJPW and not pro wrestling, threatening to boycott the show. So probably there to face off with Hiromu, but he's not wrong about any of that, as we've discussed, and the strong arming tactics in New Japan. And Kazuki Hashimoto is from Big Japan's pretty thin junior division, also the Tohoku tag champion in M-Pro, so he could be there to face off with Hayato. So the 7th match on this list, so this is the Fukumen 8-man tag match. So Mystico, Gurukun Mask, Billy Ken Kid, and Alejandro versus Dragon Kid, Bushi, Black, Menso, I'm sorry, I don't know how I'm supposed to say that, and Atlantis Jr., who I've talked about a bit already. So basically the gimmick of this match is this is all the people wearing masks. So Mystico, I mean, we know about Mystico. This is the original Sin Cara again. The guy who replaced him is in ROH/Noah as Dralistico now. So don't get confused between them. Gurukan mask is from Ryukyu Pro, basically runs pro wrestling in Okinawa. And everyone who promotes there has him help advertise the show. So he'd always get on New Japan cards when they ran Okinawa. He was in the 2016 J-Cup. Good friends with Liger, apparently. Billy Ken Kid is an Osaka Pro veteran, so his gimmick is based on Billy Ken, a good-look figure you can see all around Osaka, but was actually created in Kansas. Black Menso I don't know how I'm supposed to say that. He's a comedy gimmick in All Japan, a Cobra gimmick. He says Sha a lot, apparently. Atlantis Jr., I've talked about him for Fantasticamania. Dragon Kid, he's a Dragon Gate veteran, the protege of Ultimo Dragon. Alejandro, we have discussed him before with the Noah shows. He's a mid-level junior in Noah, originated in Keiji Muto's Wrestle 1. So he was Aleja in the Kongo versus LIJ match last year, but is now rebranded as Alejandro. Right, sixth match listed is Hikaru Sato, Ryusuke Taguchi, and Yumehito Imanari versus the Great Sasuke, Tiger's Mask, and Baten Blah Blah. So apparently this is the pervert match. Sato is a pervert. He often wears Virgin Killer sweaters to his matches, dresses in maid outfits. Yumehito Imanari helps run GamPro and does DDT production. He has a pervert gimmick in DDT, and Taguchi, he's a pervert as well, so there's a pervert team. Great Sasuke, I mean, of course, we all know about Great Sasuke. He's probably going to do a crazy bump for absolutely no reason in the match. Andrew says, I once saw him take a bump to the Korakuen floor in a Diana comedy match, so he's definitely going to do something crazy here. Tiger's Mask is an Osaka Pro wrestler based on the Hanshin Tigers. Baton X Bura Bura is from Kyushu Pro, and was a kind of comedy wrestler there. So it's a comedy pervert match, and Sasuke is going to do something nuts.
All right.
There we have a three-way tag match. So Volador Jr. and El Desperado versus Yuki Ueno and El Lindemann versus Doki and Hanaoka.
God bless you.
A little breath there. So the only connection between these teams is apparently Doki and Hanaoka being long-term tag partners in Japoneses del Mal from Mexico. Hanaoka wrestles in Secret Base, which is very, very underground indie. Yuki Ueno, again, according to the notes I've been given, is, I quote, boring as hell. DDT are trying to position him as a top guy, but he has no personality whatsoever. Not my opinion. This is just what's been given to me. So
Notes.
I'll be interested to see.
Right.
He's 1/5 of the KOD 10-man tag champions. Today I learned that is a thing. We'll also have a 5-way match with Shun Skywalker versus Ninja Mac versus Yohei versus Taiji Ishimori versus Soberano Jr. That one I think is going to be really good. So this is like their version of a big scramble match that all the US indies love. So Ninja Mac, he's the main foreign star of the Noah Juniors. He had a short reign with the GHC Junior belt after beating Hayata on a botch spot, as I mentioned earlier. Shun Skywalker, he's the top heel in Dragon Gate after he got a gimmick where he was all paranoid that a lot of people seem to love. He was a faction called Masquerade, and that caused the Masquerade faction to disintegrate. Yohei, mid-level junior, he's a Noah equivalent, in the Noah equivalent of Hontai with Alejandro. We've seen him wrestling on these Noah New Japan shows. Former member of pretty much every faction except Kongo at this point. So he's been in Rattels, PBM, Full Throttle, Stinger, Main Army, so a journeyman of many factions there. We also have a singles match. We've got Master Wato versus Atsuki Aoyagi. Now, in the English website, they said this is the main event. I will be very, very surprised if it is. Just, based on all the bigger names that I've mentioned so far on this card. If that, with Wato versus Aoyagi, turns out to be the main event, that will be very, very strange. But at any rate, Aoyagi, he's one of the most popular wrestlers in all Japan. He's the brother of Yuma Aoyagi, who had an infamous match with Taichi in the last Super J-Cup. He recently lost All Japan's junior title to Naruki Doi. And we'll have Isami Kodaka and Mao versus Onryo and Sho. So Isami Kodaka, he runs Basara. He's a deathmatch wrestler. You may remember, Damon, back in 2018, there was that incredible deathmatch between Isami Kodaka and Masashi Takeda.
Yes.
So this is the same guy. So Mao is another DDT wrestler who gets compared to Kota Ibushi a lot, but more the insane shit that Ibushi does. He does hardcore matches with stuff like plastic boxes and concrete blocks. Mao and Yuki Ueno are both in the 37 Kamina in DDT. Mao's one half for the current KOD HD tag champions. Onryo's been around since 1995, based on a Japanese vengeful spirit. He was in the 2000 Super J Cup. He throws powder around in his matches and can turn invisible. So probably a lot of shenanigans in that match. And we have Keep It Up Shinjiro Otani 10-man tag match. So Tatsuhito Takaiwa, Taka Michinoku, Minoru Tanaka, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, and Jun Kasai versus Musashi, Leona, Kota Sekifuda, Shoki Kitamura, and Chicharito Shoki. So Takai was the only freelancer on the cards, but he was formerly on the 0-1 roster, so it makes sense for him to be there for the Otani match. Damon, apparently you can cover him. You can talk about this guy. Leona is the fail son of Tatsumi Fujinami. Oh. He had a pretty good match with Hiromu on the Tradition show with Tanahashi Fujinami match last year.
I've seen him before. He's terrible.
On this show.
I'm not going to lie. He is terrible. Okay, good.
Chicharito Shoki is from 2AW, debuted in 2020, so after Taka left, so there's probably no bad blood there, like there might be with other members of the 2AW roster. Shoki Kitamura is from 0-1, so the connection to Otani is there. He's really good, but fairly certain they're moving him up to heavyweight. Sekifuda is the Big Japan Junior Champion. His gimmick is that he brings a stuffed reptile toy to the ring. So there you go. Thank you so much to everyone on the Discord, particularly Andrew, for giving me those great notes, which is definitely, like, without that, it would have just been a load of random names meaning nothing to me. So hopefully, listener, there's a bit of context for you and some stuff you can sort of sink your teeth into there on, what should be a pretty fun show. I mean, when they announced it and they said it was going to be a Korakuen Hall, I wasn't expecting any huge dream matches. So I know some people are disappointed by the card and the amount of multi-mans, but, what did you expect? It's Korakuen Hall. I mean, I'm hoping, this is a distant hope, but that if this is popular, then they could use that as a jumping off point to do a huge interpromotional Super J Cup later in the year. Like if they could get all these guys in an actual tournament, that would be tremendous. But of course, there's a lot of politics involved in that, so it's not something I'll be holding my breath for. But if this is a success, who knows? That could be something they look for in the future. But at the very worst, you're going to have a fun Korakuen Hall show with lots of guys you haven't seen before and a little bit of everything. We've got some tag match, we've got some gimmicky stuff, we've got the five-way match looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. So I suppose the big question asked by Multiverse Ace is, will you guys be paying to see the Junior Festival or wait for it to come on VOD?
Is it another pay-per-view?
Yes.
Jesus Christ. Mm-hmm. Man, I'm telling you, they like doing this. Anytime we get anybody else on in a working agreement, we get a lot of this. I don't like it. I gotta be honest with you. The positive of this is you're going to see probably some crazy junior action, right? Everybody's going to have their working boots on. Everybody's going to, go all out, I would hope. The bad news is that I'm going to be honest with you, I don't give a flying fuck about half of these people.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, do you think this is like an indictment upon, as I mentioned before, the state of junior heavyweight wrestling in Japan as a whole, that this is for you and me as a neutral, it's pretty underwhelming. There's no huge stars here where you're like, I've been licking my chops waiting years for this guy from this promotion to lock horns with this guy from New Japan, because there's a real lack of stars there, isn't there?
Yeah. There's a show on Samurai TV, and I think it's called Indies, INDZ, and it's a young lady who you see a lot at shows, and she works for Samurai TV. She hosts it, and it's a fucking hand puppet that she talks to. It is a blue. I don't even know what it is, but it has it wears glasses and it has little buck teeth. Yeah, and they have a show that highlights a lot of these different promotions. Your 666s, your freedoms, you name it. Your lower tiered pro wrestling. I don't particularly watch it because it's just like, what am I watching? Look, again, they will have their working boots on. How much are these bloodthirsty ghouls charging for this show, Joel? Do you have any idea?
No, I can open up New Japan World and find out.
All right, I would love to, because I'm sorry. I will be video on demand. I can't imagine me paying more.
$27.
No fucking way. Nope.
And unfortunately, we can't do the usual Fight TV trick of ordering it and then complaining and getting a refund.
Right. That does seem to work every fucking time. Am I wrong? Did somebody make a canvas print of the technical difficulty?
Yes, they did the blurred screen. That's incredible.
What a legend! Whoever that person is, I swear to God, I'll buy you a beer, because that is fantastic. Joel, I'm going to be very truthful. I appreciate all the notes that our Discord provided. That is a wonderful job by them. No. I'm just not. Master Wato's in the main event. Taguchi's on this show. And again, a lot of people who are going to be working their fucking tails off, and I'm sure it'll be dive heavy. I feel like I got better things to do with my life than that. Sorry.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, let's pop onto the New Japan Cup then and do a quick pick'em for that. So we decided to do it this week, because if we do it next week, then we'll have a shelf life of about an hour. So right. First of all, there's a few questions on this. So Velky says, is Hikuleo not in the New Japan Cup a big mistake, or rather, what the fuck are they doing with him? That is a shock. I could not, but I thought, with him getting that big win over Jay White, they'd be running deep in this tournament. He's not even in it.
Right.
What?
Why?
What are they doing?
I know. I don't understand that. Like, give me one guy that's come out of post Wrestle Kingdom with a bigger, focus and a bigger, I don't want to say push, but I think that's a big spot, right? I think it's a big spot. How do you not have him in it? I don't know. Maybe he's got something personal he's got to do. That's really about the only thing I can think of that would be maybe he's got I don't know. Maybe he's got a wife or a girlfriend, or expecting a child, or who knows? But to me, that is just head scratchy for sure.
Another question, Andrew says, to piggyback off that, it would be pretty easy to add 8 extra guys. For example, so these are guys who are not in it, Alex Coughlin, Gabe Kidd, Hikuleo, Tom Lawler, Shane Hayes, Mikey Nichols, Honma, Badu Tito, for example, and give some of those fresh faces a chance to shine. Is this the first time New Japan have too few guys in the tournament rather than too many? And Mark says, was DJ Carl, so this is the artist who is now known in NXT as Eddie Thorpe. We once knew him as Carl Fredericks. Was he right to complain about the G1 last year, seeing there's no LA Dojo boys in the New Japan Cup? And again, that's a real head scratch for me. Really disappointed not to see at least Coughlin and Kids in these brackets. And I don't know what's up. I mean, yes, I'm starting to see Carl Fredericks' point there, like the glacial speed at which we're starting to use these guys. And, maybe this is just New Japan in money-saving mode, where they're thinking, well, we've got all these other guys under contract who are going to be in Japan, or it's cheaper or whatever, let's use them. But I'm just disappointed not to see particularly Coughlin and Kids in these brackets.
There's a lot of people, and again, they all seem to fall and have that common denominator. I get, maybe it's costs, maybe it's, I don't know. I just feel like
we did hear those rumors, those whispers of the Japan talent having to take pay cuts, so that could be one element to it.
Yeah, possibly. Look, I don't know, but I will say this: when is it? What is it going to take? What has to happen for a lot of these guys to finally get over there and I want to say be a part of New Japan Pro Wrestling, because it feels like it's never going to happen.
Yeah, and Strong as we know it is dead or changed at least. Like, were these guys just sitting around with their thumbs up their ass waiting for the next big pay-per-view Fight TV fucking clusterfuck dumpster fire till we get to see them again?
I know it's maybe Carl did have a fucking point. I mean, he has a point. Maybe he has a point. just on the surface of it. Like, what is it going to take? What is it going to take? Now, again, is it a problem with work visas? Is it a problem with, again, doors are open, but, I don't know if they're fully open. Let's put it that way. So I don't know. I can't answer that question, but what is it going to take? I'm with you.
All right, well, let's do our brackets then. You got the brackets in front of you?
I got them, yes.
All right. Let's try and do this quickly.
Yes.
We're going to do full previews next week, so this is just sort of quick fire thoughts as you're going to win each round. So I'm starting off March 5th with Sanada versus Taichi. Sanada has been doing this losing gimmick thing, so I am picking Taichi there. And of course, having said that, Sanada's going to win the whole fucking New Japan Cup, so do not count that out, but my pick here is Taichi.
I want to say Taichi, but I think I think it's pretty wild that we're getting rid of one of two, I guess, middle to upper card guys. I'll say Taichi. I'll cross my fingers and hope for Taichi because I don't want to see Sanada.
And then on the same show, we got Tetsuya Naito versus El Phantasmo. And again, this is a very tricky one to pick because we've been waiting for this ELP push to come. And, he's had big matches against heavyweights, the likes of Shingo Takagi and Tama Tonga. So, maybe this is going to be the moment where he gets the big win. And we could have a story where he's going through various members of Bullet Club.
Right.
Like in this part of the bracket, there's Chase Owens, there's Kenta. So it could be like he's beating those guys on the way to establishing his credentials as, a bona fide heavyweight in New Japan Pro Wrestling and maybe staking his claim for leadership of Bullet Club. Expect Naito to beat him in a very sad. I'll go for the upset. I'm going ELP here.
Do it, because guess what? If it's going to happen, it's got to happen here, right? Jay White's out of the picture. They don't necessarily have a full-time leader. I don't think it's David Finlay. And again, you're right. Kenta gets a bye automatically to the second round, so he's going to face the winner of Sanada and Taichi. And then Naito versus El Phantasmo. And shockingly enough, I don't know who's making these brackets, but Chase Owens gets a bye into the second round. And, that would mean Phantasmo versus Chase Owens in the second round. And let's just say Kenta goes on and beats the winner of Sanada and Taichi. So then it would be, it could possibly be the seeds are there for an El Phantasmo Kenta match. So look, there's got to be a reason why all these Bullet Club people are in this same fucking bracket. Maybe Krusty's coming, Joel. Maybe. I can't believe we're still doing this, but maybe this is it.
So then March the 6th, so we're going to the bottom right-hand side of the bracket here. We've got David Finlay against Tomohiro Ishii. Now, again, we've heard whispers that David Finlay may have signed a long-term contract extension with New Japan following the big angle at Battle in the Valley. So I am picking David Finlay for the win here.
You would think, right? You would think. Where are you at in this bracket? Why don't I see? Oh.
So I'm going.
I see. This side. Okay, gotcha. I'm with you. Okay.
Yeah, so bottom right.
Yes, Finlay over Ishii. Yep, I would think that's a very likely scenario.
And then also March the 6th, we've got Shota Umino versus Yujiro Takahashi. Should be a pretty straightforward win for Shota here.
I would think. Yep, I would think.
Okay, and then we have a day off. And then we are skipping ahead to March the 8th, where we have Ren Narita versus Evil. And this is a tricky one because you can never discount Evil in these tournaments now. It could be, maybe this is the year where they're going to heat him up and he runs deep in the tournament. But I don't know. I feel like Ren has won the 6-man belts over House of Torture. So I think they're going to solidify that. I'm picking Ren for the win here.
I would love to say it. But I do think the possibility of a second round Evil Jeff Cobb could be good too. But how about Ren Narita versus Jeff Cobb? That could be
way better.
Right. All right. I'm going to go with my hopes. This is going to be the Hope New Japan Cup. And let's say
Yes.
Ren pulls it out.
Also, March 8th, we've got Toriano versus Mark Davis. So what I'm looking at here is the winner of this will face Will Ospreay, and I can totally see Will Ospreay going to campaign New Japan and saying, let me have a singles match with Mark Davis, and they will beat the shit out of each other, and it will be great, and it will make Mark Davis into a big deal. So Yano gets the win here by punching Mark Davis in the testicles and rolling him up after 5 minutes. So I would love Mark Davis to win. It's Yano, man. You can't pick against Yano, so I'm going Yano.
All right. I'm going Yano only in the sense of, not only in the stretch, only in the sense, but I'm going Yano because Will Ospreay has a bye into the second round. That would mean his first match would be against Toriano, which, if we're being honest here, that's kind of a night off. Right? He doesn't have to do all the shit that he would do against Mark Davis, that's for sure. So maybe we're preserving, or we're making sure we got a healthy Will Ospreay for later, deeper in the tournament. So I'll go Yano.
And then March the 10th, we will have Yoshihashi versus Kyle Fletcher. So I think they are laying some groundwork here for Aussie Open to stake their claim for a shot at the heavyweight tag titles. And Kyle Fletcher has been bulking up over recent years. There's been a lot of talk that, that is the telltale sign that New Japan are keen on a young Westerner when they start packing on muscle mass. Apparently Tanahashi said a few years ago that he was very keen on Kyle Fletcher. So this could be the start of the big Kyle Fletcher push. So I'm picking Kyle Fletcher for the win here.
I'm with you, yeah.
And of course, I should also add he had a big main event match in Tamashi against Robbie Eagle, so that's could be them testing the waters to see if he's a viable singles wrestler.
I think you're right too, and I think the tag titles might play a little factor in that as well. So, yep, I'll give Kyle the win there. Yeah, absolutely.
And then Shingo Takagi versus Aaron Henare. I think this is a pretty comfortable Shingo win.
I think so too, but I would not have a problem with Henare winning. I really wouldn't. I know people kind of shit on him a little bit. I wouldn't have a problem with it. But I mean, on paper, you would think Shingo's winning this, so I'll go Shingo.
Okay, then we March the 11th. So I think we both have Taichi versus Kenta here.
Yeah.
I am going for Taichi.
I would love it.
And I know we've talked about this, having Kenta going through and doing the Bullet Club thing, but I like Taichi. I'm going Taichi.
All right, that's fine.
Then again, Kenta's the strong champion, isn't it? Maybe they've got to protect him.
Yeah.
No, still going Taichi.
All right. Listen, that could set up a title. I'm going all in on it's ride or die with Bullet Club, implosion, angle, bullshit. So yeah, I'm going to go Kenta.
And then same show, we would both have El Phantasmo against Chase Owens. So I'm picking ELP to go through that.
As will I.
Okay, so let's write that down with my little digital pen here.
Oh, look at you.
Okay, then we have March 12th. We would have Kyle Fletcher against Hiroki Goto. I don't know. Like, they could, if they're really bold, they would have Kyle Fletcher going through both members of Bishamon to really establish that Aussie Open has gone for those titles. But I don't think he's there yet. So I would pick Goto to defeat Kyle Fletcher.
That would be smart if they did that. Had them beat both to really, really drive that point home. Can you see Hiroki Goto losing a singles match to Kyle Fletcher? I mean,
didn't he lose a singles match on the Cup to SEMA last year?
Yeah, I don't remember. All right, let's get some balls. Let's say they go all in. I'll pick Kyle. Why not? It's probably the dumbest thing I'll do today, but yeah. I'm in.
Also on the March the 12th, we would, I guess, both have Shingo against Tamatonga. And I am picking Shingo here because I think he would be a good challenger for the Never title. So that would set up Shingo versus Tama for the Never title somewhere down the line.
You read my mind. Exactly right. Yep, that's how I see it.
Okay, so then March the 13th, we would have Ren versus Jeff Cobb. And I'm just looking ahead to the other side of the bracket where we've got Will Ospreay. I don't think they would do Cobb versus Ospreay as an intra-faction match. So I'm picking Ren to beat Jeff Cobb.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if they would do that United Empire. I don't know, but all right, fuck it. Yeah, Ren Narita. Why not? Why am I thinking too much about this? Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, we're going to be completely wrong by next week.
Right.
Then March 13th, we also have Yano. Are we doing Yano Ospreay? Have you got Yano beating Mark Davis as well?
Yes.
All right, so Ospreay beating Yano.
Yep.
Ospreay goes through.
Yep.
14th, do we have 14th? No, we've got a day off, so we're going then to the 15th of March then. So I would have David Finlay against Great Khan. Normally I would have picked Great Khan, but because they did that big angle with Finlay, I am picking David Finlay to beat Great Khan.
Yeah, me too. Every time I think it's Okan's year, it never is. Why change? Yeah, I'll go Finlay. Just because he has the fire underneath him right now.
Then we've got Zack Sabre Jr. against Shota Umino. Now, my initial thoughts when I saw these brackets were Shota winning his side of the bracket, and then Naito winning his side of the bracket, and then doing Naito versus Shota in the final, and then Shota wins, and then doing Shota Umino versus Okada at Sakura Genesis. But I am cancelling that now, and I am saying Zack Sabre Jr. to beat Shota Umino.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, fine. I'm in.
Then that would take us to, is there anything on the 16th? No, 16th would be a day off. And then the 17th, my quarterfinal, I've got Taichi versus ELP, and I'm going ELP.
I have Kenta ELP, and I'm going Kenta.
Then same show, I've got Ren versus Ospreay, and I think, this would be the match for Ren to go very, very close, but to lose, so Ospreay going through to the semis.
We're on the same page. Ospreay goes to the semis.
Then on the 18th, I've got Goto versus Shingo in the quarterfinal, and I'm picking Shingo to win.
I guess I have... Yeah, do I have Goto or do I have Kyle Fletcher? I think I had Kyle Fletcher. I did have Kyle Fletcher. Yeah, I'm going to go Shingo too.
And then also on the 18th, I have David Finlay against Zack Sabre Jr. I'm picking David Finlay.
I'm picking Zack Sabre Jr.
Okay. And then my semi-final on the 19th, I have got ELP versus Will Ospreay. And
that should be good.
I am picking ELP because he's had a few near misses against Ospreay. I think ELP wins.
Wow. How about that? I say Will Ospreay wins.
Arthur's crying, so we're going to have to be quick. I think I can do it, Damon. I've got Shingo against Finlay, and I'm picking Shingo. Am I picking Shingo to? Yeah, Shingo to win.
No, you wouldn't be picking Shingo. Oh, yes, you would. Okay.
Yeah,
and I will...
Shingo to beat Finlay in the semis.
I'm with you. I'm picking David Finlay.
So my final would be El Phantasmo against Shingo Takagi, and this is absolutely not going to happen. No. No snowball shots in hell. Well, look, it's a rematch from their KPW stuff. I'm doing it. ELP, he's winning. ELP to win New Japan Cup.
All right. Yeah. Yes. Okay. I'm with you. ELP wins it. Let's fucking do it. Yeah. Because Will's winning it. Because I think Will is winning G1. I think that.
Yes.
So he's not going to win. He's not going to double dip. So fine. ELP. ELP is your winner. I think what's most important is, I got to get this joke in before you leave, is are we going to get the New Japan Cup picks from our friends? The guy on YouTube?
Oh, the holiday, Christopher Mace. I will try.
Please.
That's going to be my mission this week.
Yeah, we need his. Tell him we'll have him on the show. We'll have him on the fucking show to do it live.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Yes.
Good. All right.
redcircle.com/shows/super-jcast. If you want to give money to us, Discord link, you can get that by sending me a direct message on Twitter at CoverCoE and prowrestlingtees.com/super-jcast for our lovely t-shirts. Big thank you to editor Dan. Find him on Twitter at LazarHero219. Subscribe to the Voices of Wrestling podcast network for other great shows. Give us a 5-star review on iTunes. Follow us on Twitter at super-jcast. Thank you everyone for listening and goodbye.
Hello, Voices of Wrestling listener. Dave Ryan here. Have you ever wondered to yourself how many hidden gems are hidden away inside the last years of World Championship Wrestling? Have you ever asked yourself how many tenuous gags can be made about the name Mike Enos? And have you ever thought about what it sounds like for two Irishmen to interpret a very chaotic company through its B show? The answers to all this and more are just a click away. Check out Days of Thunder every second Thursday on the Voices of Wrestling podcast network.